review and slightly recap episode 9 from season 4 of Camp Cretaceous, Dino Sitting. Darius finds a way to get together with his friends. All they have to do is get past the sleeping raptors, who still have a barrier around them. But it's a different kind of barrier because there's these things on the ground, which is very smart. Have no idea what those are, haven't really seen those in action. But the weird part is that you only see them on either side of the raptors around the door. And from what it looks like, the raptors are able to go back into the jungle. So my thing is, couldn't they just like go around? Unless Cash has them going like one of these jammies. Like they come straight into the jungle and then they curve back around the whole facility off camera. So if the raptors tried going around, they couldn't. The only path to the building that's free is right in front of the door. Otherwise, something is probably keeping them there. Because I doubt they'd be sleeping in the open like that if they could help it. I'm pretty sure the raptors would want a place to sleep where they could also hide. Raptors seem to be stealth hunters, so I don't see them just sleeping out like that where their prey can easily spot them. I think these poor raptors are being kept there against their will. Now, since the group has hacked Darius's Brad X via another older Brad, those names are so stupid, they no longer have to worry about Cash because he completely trusts the robot, thinking that it still will kill Darius if it has the chance, or if he's doing anything fishy. All they have to do is meet Darius at night on top of the roof. Darius throws down a rope for them attached to the robot, and then Brooke starts sliding all the way back down to the bottom, because we always gotta have tension. Of course, nothing can go smoothly sailing here, and as Brooke is dangling there, the raptors wake up. And oh boy, poor Brooklyn. Just in the nick of time she makes it. And we find out that she also programmed the robot to be voice commanded by Darius as well. Felt like that was thrown in there just for plot armor, but hey.
Had to keep it interesting, huh, superstar? Okay.
Poor Kenji. So we're left feeling sorry for him and knowing that there is now a rift between Brooke and him. The next mission of this episode is to save the baby dinosaurs and release them before the morning. Oh, remember how we were wondering about the cameras and why there weren't any cameras around? And I'm like, why would somebody who has important tech an island where nobody else is supposed to be not have the cameras?
What about cameras? Mr. Genius has been too busy to get the island's camera system up and running.
I like how they placed that in there so that if we were asking the question, there's the explanation. Seriously? Cash should be fired, but he probably can get away with all that stuff because he's probably one of a kind. There are not a lot of people like him who are like freaking Iron Man and can build robots in the space of 2 hours. So he tells his friends, look, this is happening first thing in the morning. We gotta get this done. And he has to keep everything as calm as possible so the Cash doesn't suspect him. Meanwhile, his friends have to try and not get caught. This is a very stressful undertaking.
What are you doing out here?
First time I saw that scared the shit out of me. I was not expecting him to stand. I was not expecting him to be standing right there. That really did catch me, like, off guard. So, of course, Cash questions him, and Darius is so caught off guard, like, his heart is pumping, and he's trying to recover really fast. He's usually good on the draw, but I would be a little bit, like, shaking in my boots and my throat, too, if I got the situation tossed at me from out of nowhere.
Oh, Cash, hey. You know how hard it is to sleep when you got a metal baby.
That was so well done, because he's trying to recover from being surprised and looking guilty, because right about now he looks guilty. Look at the scuff on the robot, like right there on the line. Like, I can't get over the detail they put into making these things look real. Cash is like, you know what, since you woke me up, time to get some work done. He also asked the robot what Darius was doing, and of course the robot said he wasn't doing anything wrong. Brooklyn programmed it that way. Isn't she a freaking megalomine? The problem is Cash is going downstairs. He's taking the elevator down, which puts him at higher risk of finding Darius's friends. Darius has to come up with an idea fast so that Cash doesn't go down there and find his friends. So he just pretends like he doesn't want to go back down to his room after Cash tells the robot to escort him down there. So Darius says, can't we play like a video game or something? And the Cash looks at him and asks him, you're a gamer? Are us gamers like rare or something? Like, people look at me with the same kind of wonder, and I'm like, last time I checked, there's a lot of people that like video games. I didn't realize it was such a rarity. What's not to like about being able to hold the controls in your hand for you to go to a completely different world and be a totally different person for a few hours or a few days or a few years? And you can go to many different kinds of worlds, take part in dangerous things, and never actually die in real life. The question should be, How are y'all not gamers? It's clear that Cash doesn't get out much. So Darius answers him, yeah, I'm a gamer. That's how I won my trip to Jurassic World. But Cash doesn't buy it, or at least that he's a worthy opponent. Darius goads him, understanding this guy completely, and says, I guess. That's what my friends usually say because they're too scared to play me. And this gets Cash on the hook.
Play me too.
Well, who said I was scared?
The rest of the friends are trying to find the babies. When Kenji, who's used to being paired up with Brooke now, was like, all right, Brooke and I will take this section. Brooke cuts in and says, well, come to think of it, me and Yaz will go this way. And by now, I can totally understand how Kenji is feeling. Because Brooke is acting the same way that one guy acted when I told him I loved him for the first time, and I had no idea that doing that would send people running for the hills. I was so naive. It was my first actual consensual boyfriend, so I had no idea how that stuff worked. And yeah, I botched it.
And I got this one.
That's exactly how my face looked. It's okay. He was a popular womanizer player dude, so I dodged a huge bullet. Kenji, on the other hand, I don't know, maybe he dodged a bullet too, who knows? But I feel bad for him because it's clear that Brooke likes him too. But this just made me wonder, what the hell is going on? Sammy and Kenji team up and they find out that two of the babies that they're supposed to be rescuing are hybrids. One of those hybrid species for this pairing is a Spinosaurus.
Sinoceratops and Spinosaurus. What's everyone's obsession with making hybrids?
Because they're fun. Like, if aliens came to Earth, like, one of the first questions us weird-ass introverts would ask is, how would humans and aliens' offspring look? And then somebody would take the L or the win, depending on how you look at it, and figure that out. Usually doesn't end well in media. There's a cute little face of the Spinoceratops, Spinoceratops. There you go. I gotta say, these things have the face that only a mother would love at certain angles. While Darius' friends are helping the baby dinosaurs to escape, he plays the game with Cash and wins. When Cash finds that Darius is actually as good as he said he is, he does the one thing that we could have never expected him to do. He cheats. Because we never saw that coming. But this works in Darius' favor, because now that Cash is winning, and, well, by cheating, and Darius is getting upset, now he wants to play over and over. Each of the friends try to work out how they're going to cajole the baby dinosaurs to follow them. While all this is happening, we also get some more exposition on what's going on with Brooke and Kenji and why Brooke is acting so weird. Yaz, of course, pulls it out of her.
What? You're imagining things.
I love Yaz's no bullshit face. She's like, girl, drop it. Who you think you're fooling? Like, everyone can see it. Or maybe I'm just the only one who can see it because I'm very observant, but it's freaking obvious. Do not have the gall to lie to me.
Kenji said he likes me, okay? And then I got all weird, so he backtracked and it got weirder. And now I don't know if he meant it or not.
Yeah, that's something that I would do. I tend to like show my feelings or just straight up tell someone that I like them. And then I run away afterwards because it's like, you know, one of those situations where you're like, crap, now the cat's out of the bag and I'm scared. I don't like to go any further or I'm afraid of what's going to happen. So I'll just leave that there and just avoid that person as much as possible. Yaz basically tells her like, look, you're going to have to work it out with him. While Brooke is in the middle of talking about Kenji to Yaz and letting her feelings fly, she ends up bumping into Kenji, who's right around the corner. And I've been in that situation, and it is so embarrassing. Because you're wondering, like, even though they don't say anything, like, did they hear you? Did he hear me? Like, maybe he's just pretending he didn't hear me. Should I ask him? No, that's gonna be weird. I love how in each of these episodes, even though they're on missions and they're trying to accomplish something, each of them have to work out situations to help them grow as characters. And we notice that Sammy is coddling this little Spinoceratops a little bit too much, to the point where nothing is getting done and they can't move these babies along. Yaz, being the motherly person that she is, notices this and asks Sammy what's up. Sammy then divulges that she feels guilty, like it's her fault that these babies are here because she was partly responsible for getting information and embryos and stuff to give to Manticore. As a result, these babies have never seen outside, they've never gotten to be social. She's feeling guilty. But Yaz snaps her out of it and lets her know, look, that's fine and dandy and it's not your fault. Well, sort of. But if you want to do right by them, you have to get them out of here. Sometimes a little tough love is needed.
Now you listen to me. I'm sorry you had it rough, but if you ever want a better life, you are gonna move. Yeah.
Yo, the country to her came out. I love country gals, man. Like, just the sass and that tough motherly love, that is so freaking awesome. And I'm glad to see that Sammy grew into that, because coddling people doesn't always work. The baby is innocent. It's not the baby's fault, but the baby also needs to listen. The baby has to learn to grow up as well. And sometimes you need a firm hand and a little bit of discomfort to teach the baby that lesson. We now discover that the babies know each other. The baby Spinoceratops are brother and sister. And even after being separated for so long, seeing each other again, they instantly recognize each other, which is the cutest thing ever.
What the fuck is my team doing, man?
Little Brachiosaur has taken a liking to Ben, but Ben doesn't seem to want to get close to her. When asked about it later, he says, well, he already got close to Bumpy and had to leave her behind, and he doesn't want to have to go through that again. And honestly, I can't blame him. I don't think I'd be able to help myself though, but from Ben's standpoint, it makes perfect sense. Cash is done playing, he really has to get back to work, and Darius tries to stall him, but it doesn't work. While the baby dinosaurs are all playing, one of them accidentally hits one of the controls, or fuse box things, and for some reason, that shuts down everything and lets the dinosaurs loose. Like, the adult dinosaurs that are dangerous, it let one of them loose. The Ceratosaurus. Kenji and Brooklyn have the boy, Spinoceratops, who seems to be very vocal and hard to control. I don't know why the Ceratosaurus looks so freaking ugly. It's like it looks like a weird meth-induced Gorosaurus or something. It just looks weird. Maybe it's the lighting, but I don't remember the one in Jurassic Park 3 looking like that. Look how badass this one looks. It looks like an actual bird dinosaur thing. Looks freaking beast. The colors, the eye colors, this thing looks scary and beautiful at the same time. It reminds me of a tropical parrot. Wait, don't parrots only live in the tropics? Oh well, whatever. Then you look at this thing and it looks like those weird, ugly toys that were so ugly and cheap that they were only given out as party favors. I love all the dinosaurs in this, but man, they dropped the ball on this one. Like, look at that. This is, it looks like a claymation toy. Like, it looks horrible. Anyways, little baby Brachy doesn't know how to stay quiet, and she realizes that she's caught the attention of the predator. It chases after them. Cash now wants to go downstairs to see what's going on with the power outage stuff. If he goes downstairs and he makes it down there, he's gonna see all of Darius's friends with the baby dinosaurs. Yaz also seems to be doing well. When the Ceratosaurus finds her, she's able to move out the way. Thank goodness Yaz doesn't have the problem where she's standing like a deer stuck in headlights. Because it would be really interesting to watch someone sit there freezing and then get eaten by a dinosaur. That would be a horrible way for her to go. That would honestly make me want to watch the show more though, because I would not see that coming. Well, no one gets caught, and they get out just in the nick of time. Cash and Darius make it downstairs. Cash has no idea that the dinosaur is out there, and Darius takes the time to warn him.
Cash?
Not now, kid.
Cash?
Yo, the amount of times that Cash pushed Darius and tried to let him get eaten, it was like, screw you, you're bait. Cash even closes the door to leave Darius in there, tell him they're alone. But Darius makes it in. Cash screams his lights out and is holding Darius in front of him and cowering behind him. Like if that dinosaur got in there, it wouldn't just grab the both of you since you're so close to each other. Stupid ass Grubhub mascot is smiling at him like, yeah, what did you expect, man? I mean, it's not really a surprise. We already knew that Cash was a piece of shit anyway. Now the baby dinosaurs are free, they don't have to worry about being chipped and controlled. Brooke and Kenji took a different route because of the entrance they went through, and they noticed that their baby was just fine. Kenji also had his own issues to work through this episode by trying to be as supportive of the little boy Spinoceratops as possible because he never had that relationship with his father.
Hey, did we name the little guy? How about...
This is where Kenji decides to name him Rebel. Kenji, I would not have that thing so close to your underneath. So this guy is playing some awful games, man. Like, that thing's beak is very powerful. If you have a wild animal, I don't care if it's a baby, if it's something that you can't willingly push off of you, and it has a mouthpiece that's like a freaking junkyard press used to press cars and metal together to make them into paper and liquid or whatever happens, don't have it so close to your precious jewels. Like, this is not the position that you assume with any wild animal or animal that you don't know. Not wolf, not horse, not herbivores, not carnivores. Don't do this. Let this be a learning lesson, because I have expected something to happen. Thankfully, it didn't happen. But this is freaking stupidity. My man really decided to trust a creature that has 3 pointy ends on the side directed at him and his belly and crotch area. 3. Jesus Christ. Maybe I know a little bit more because I spent my whole life growing up around animals, so especially if you're dealing with wild animals that are not domesticated, you have to always be aware of how you're facing them, your body language, how you look at them, how they're looking at you, and constantly reading their body language. Anyway, Cash put the Ceratosaurus to sleep. This is the only time that everyone can be up close and safe to look at the dinosaurs. After this is all done, Cash discovers that the babies are missing and he blames Darius, who quickly says, and rightfully so, dude, I was with you the whole time. I don't know what the hell's going on. And that was episode 9. Episode 9 was really more about people talking about dealing with certain issues from their past and their parents and guilt and emotions. And the Ceratosaurus was just thrown in there because in every episode you gotta have a dinosaur chase. I enjoyed seeing new dinosaurs even if they were hybrids. And the babies were so adorable. This is probably the first time these baby hybrids have been out in the wild, away from the lab, to be free. Yeah, the Brachiosaurus likes doing that, who was then named later, not given a name right away because Ben doesn't want to be attached to her. I don't know if it's just coincidence, but this Brachiosaurus reminds me of Dino from the Flintstones. You ever seen clips of Dino where he goes, "Arr, arr, 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 arr," and then he like leaps on people? Cash is still suspicious of Darius, asking what the odds are that the fuse for all the dinosaur pens blows the night before he needs them. Cash had a whole plan to show the boss the presentation of the baby dinosaurs being able to do whatever he tells them to do. His ambitions are to be partner with his boss, like that's ever gonna happen.
Maybe the Ceratosaurus ate them?
Yeah? And did he mop the floors after, too? There was no trace of anything.
Notice how they take care not to even say the word blood? I don't think I've heard the word blood in this, which is kind of funny considering that we heard a child say it in the first movie and blood is a part of life, so I don't understand. They show it on the dinosaurs, but you can't say the freaking word.
From your blood. 1 drop of your blood can be fed on the blood of animals.
Blood is not a bad word. Let's stop making children so sensitive that the word blood triggers them. Cash has the bright idea to sweep all the biomes for the baby dinosaurs, which is a bad idea for Darius and his friends because then he'll find them in no time. Darius cuts him off and says that we should check down here first, meaning that little factory basement area, because it's not like the baby dinosaurs can operate elevators, which is quick thinking by Darius. But this is why this makes no freaking sense. And why Cash is a genius, but also a complete idiot. Well, not complete, it's an oxymoron. You know what I mean? You have a lot of robots. Why can't you have some robots that are up on the surface anyway, check the biomes, while you and Darius and some other robots check down here, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and hence having good time management, which is clearly something that Cash lacks. Anyway, Kenji and Brooklyn help get Rebel, their little baby dinosaur, back to the group.
I guess we don't really need to do this anymore.
Wow. Wow. Seriously, what is this? 50 Shades of Cretaceous? Every 5 minutes. At least you're not being cringe with it. I have seen other YA stuff and it's like really freaking cringe. Do you guys remember Twilight? Next of Ken does a great compilation highlighting just that.
Doesn't he own a shirt?
I'm just sorry I let this go on for so long.
Please. Don't.
I just want to try one thing. Just stay very still. Don't.
It's time to stop, okay?
Not finding the babies in the basement, Cash tells robots to search the biome. Darius' friends try to get the babies to the cave where they're keeping May. While they're out preparing, one of the Brad X's is out patrolling, just as his orders instruct them to, looking for the baby dinosaurs. Ben asks where the baby Brachie is, and he has the others say that they thought that the baby was with him. Ben sees the baby Brachie. Unfortunately, the robot is right there. Oh no! It spots the baby who runs away. Ben tries to distract it by throwing a rock at it, because that's the only thing that people can use in the show to throw at things. And it immediately turns around and unleashes explosions, missing Ben, not seeing where he is, because he's behind a tree, which is very intriguing because this guy who built these robots, they're on an island filled with trees. You'd think that he would make robots that are able to, I I don't know, have other ways to figure out where things are without having to actively see them. Unfortunately for the baby, she gets captured. And as much as Ben didn't want to get attached to her, he feels horrible. All he can do is watch from the sidelines helplessly as the robots bring the baby back to Cash's facility. He then gives Darius the chip gun to chip the poor baby. Darius says he's not feeling well. Cash doesn't think anything of it. He just teases him, thinking he's queasy and weak. So Cash decides to do it. Nothing Darius can do at this point can help unless he gives himself away. And this is one of the saddest and darkest moments in the show. The baby gets up and tries to make a run for it. Then Cash tests out the chip with his remote control to see if he can in fact control the baby dinosaur.
Stop!
Baby's sitting there looking like how I'm looking right now, probably because it's not only afraid, but also in a lot of pain. I don't know that for sure, but my bet is having a very foreign thing inside of your body that's now sending signals to your brain and paralyzing you, and having your body do things that you're not telling it to do must be very, very scary. Cash seems to be enjoying this, not seeing the dinosaurs as actual living beings. Ben goes back and tells his friends what happened. He said he had to leave Bumpy behind and he's not doing that anymore. Cash is just hurting everything in sight and he doesn't care who he hurts. He's made up his mind with the rest of the group of friends that he has to bring Cash down. Cash is unhappy because the baby dinosaur, even though it knows the command stop, isn't doing anything else he wants. To Darius' horror, he says he's going to amp up the frequency, and he doesn't care if its head explodes or not. Their plan is to lure Cash into the forest with the call of one of the baby dinosaurs, and then Ben, using Darius' Brad X, will knock him out with the gas that all the robot models carry inside them to put the dinosaurs to sleep. There's a little wrench thrown in the plan, though, as pteranodons sit upon Ben and the friends. One of them take the little device that Ben is supposed to use to control Darius' Brad X, because of course it does. When Brad Darius and Darius' Brad X come out, they almost get shat on. And when they look above, it's a pteranodon, the new assets that Cash had put out into the forest, having forgotten that he put them there.
Yeah, and those idiot Brads just let them loose.
You told them to put them wherever.
You gotta tell robots exactly what you mean. Brooklyn and Kenji have to uphold their part of the plan using Rebel, the little boy Spinoceratops, as the distraction, and he actually gets it done as they work together. Kenji being the papa in the situation, and Brooke being the mama, of course. Because why not play house? And this is where the magic starts. What all of this was leading up to. Kenji finally bites the bullet and tells Brooke his intentions. And I respect them for keeping it real. Seriously, because I was about to say the same thing Kenji led with.
So proud of you.
Brooklyn, listen, this is so not the time, but I really...
Me too.
You do?
Sookie, Sookie. Well, that's finally out of the bag. Now I bet the next thing that's gonna be the hurdle is telling all their friends. The plan works, and they're able to lock Cash inside, and he is really mad. But I'm thinking to myself, they left a device in there. He's not gonna be able to stay in there long if he can reprogram things. Can't he reprogram this thing to get another robot to get him out? Anyway, they're able to rescue the baby Brachiosaurus, and Ben says, you know what? I'm never gonna let anything happen to you again. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna name you Firecracker, because he just, why not? Then this is the part that absolutely shatters my heart. Ben says, while he's having fun with Firecracker, that Bumpy probably doesn't even miss him anyway. She's probably happy, living her life on Isla Nublar with her new family. Remember, Bumpy was raised by Ben from a baby, but Ben figured that if she's with her own kind, she'll be happier. She won't even think about him anymore. And then we cut to a scene on Isla Nublar where we see Bumpy, a full adult, to prove to us that she is indeed happy. No. Poor Bumpy. She's sad. The truth is, she really misses Ben, and Ben doesn't even realize it, because of course she would. As far as we know, as far as she knows, that's her dad, and her daddy is gone, and she probably expects he's gonna come back. Usually whenever Ben would leave her somewhere, they would always come back, so she probably keeps visiting this place thinking that Ben is gonna come back soon, only to find out that he's gone forever. Oh, great. How's this ever gonna be a happy ending, even if they make it off this island? That part was so sad. Now for season 11. So excited. Okay, So this is the season finale, and things are gonna pop off.
So thirsty.
How much water do you really need to drink?
Now that Cage is catched, Jesus Christ. Now that Cash is caved, everyone's happy and having a great time, except there seems to be something wrong with the babies. They're more lethargic than usual, especially Rebel, the boy Spinoceratops, who's usually very vocal and playful. He and his sister have just been sleeping the whole time. It's clear that something's wrong with them. The group figures that maybe they're not in the right biome. Maybe if they brought them to another biome, they would be okay. In the meantime, May is very proud of the kids for having rescued the baby dinosaurs. May, ever willing to help, says that I am a world-renowned scientist and surgeon and everything else. I can definitely get that chip out of the baby dinosaur's neck, because you know that's the next order of business. But she needs surgical equipment to do it. So there's their next mission. This entire episode is them doing that, figuring out home for the babies, and Kenji working up the nerve to tell Darius about Brooke. You know, the first thing I was wondering is, why would Kenji be awkward about telling Darius? You know what I mean? Like, of all people, why would Darius be the person that you're worried about telling? I think it was like what I said. I think Darius originally liked Brooke, and Kenji probably knew that, having seen them, so he didn't want it to look like he was sweeping Brooke from out of Darius's feet. After all, I think the characters are around the same age. I also think they changed this up because, not like it should matter because these are fantasy characters, but Kenji is like in his 20s and Brooke is in her 20s as well, or 18 or 19 or something, and Darius is like 14 in real life. So they probably, the showrunners probably felt awkward, or maybe his parents felt awkward or something, and they were like, you know, if we're gonna do the lovey-dovey thing, even if he's voicing it, what if he actually catches feelings? You know what I'm saying? That would be hella weird. So I think, I could be wrong, that's probably why they decided to do this. Maybe. As you can see, the voice actor for Kenji is 26, the voice actor for Brooke is 19, and the voice actor for Darius is 14. So it's possible that the voice actor's parents, or even the studio, was like, they are cartoon characters. But you know about the whole chemistry thing and all the awkward stuff, they were gonna have to basically be playing that, and they probably wanted to make sure that they had all their shit covered before placing somebody who was underage to play a lovey-dovey role with someone who was older. I might be wrong, and I did come at it from the angle of Brooklyn falling for Kenji, because he was more of like a leader. Kenji is about 15, 16 in this, and I know me, I liked older men. Well, older guys. Yeah, older men. And usually why females will gravitate towards that is because of the whole 10-year difference, 5 to 10-year difference. Usually older guys are at the same maturity level of the girls at their current age. I've told many people about this, and actually somebody else told me this. So if you have a girl that's like 20, a guy that is 30 would be more on her maturity level. Usually guys around her age are not as mature as her, or not ready to settle down and do all that stuff. At 30 is when they start thinking about that. So that's probably what's happening here from that side of things. But yeah, I just was thinking about that after watching this, because everyone was saying it just came out of left field for them, because there was no point at all that it seemed as though Brooklyn was remotely even looking in Kenji's direction. It could have been because he rode in on a white horse to save her, and that could be the in-universe reason, but I think the outside universe or real world reason could be because it would be a little bit awkward. Kenji does end up telling Darius, and it is the funniest thing ever.
Because she's my girlfriend?
That's the way. That's the way that Kenji ran to the side. Oh my god. Oh god. It's funnier the second time. Anyway. Oh my god. Anyway, Darius is completely okay with it, I guess. Because I thought at first he was gonna get mad at him and like, oh no, now we're gonna have another problem. But no, he's totally fine with it. And it just got freaking weird. Oh, good grief. I needed that laugh. Sorry. He's like very okay with it. Did he shrink? Did he not get fed enough as the others? No lie, I feel kind of bad for Darius because being as young as he is, if he's not getting a lot of nutrition on the islands or where he is right now, it can actually stunt his growth as a boy. So Darius needs to get some meat or at least enough nutrients so that he can grow. I think Kenji's already good where that's concerned. So anyway, back then, the group decided to go out and carry the babies to the desert, thinking that's where they wanted to be. The Spinosaurus was in the desert, so that must mean that's where it belongs. Even though, as some commenters pointed out, the Spinosaurus belongs in aquatic environment like it was in Jurassic Park 3. If this is even the same one, I'm still guessing it's part Spinosaurus, whatever it is. So it would need to be around some kind of water. And we know that Cash has been known to put dinosaurs in places where they don't belong just to see how long they can survive before they bite the bullet, which is very cruel. So it could be that the Spinosaurus doesn't even belong here. The babies seem okay at first, and then they take a nap because they're just not feeling it. They can't get the babies fast away enough because there comes a Spinosaurus as if it's waiting for them. Honestly, when it walked up to them, I thought that the babies were gonna notice the Spinosaurus and he was gonna notice them and he was gonna be like, oh my god, my children. That didn't happen. It would have been corny if it did, to be honest. So I'm glad it didn't. It was still kind of hilarious. The friends in the desert make it out alive. Unfortunately for Darius and Kenji, after having heard the news, they went to go check on the cage, or the cave, to go feed Cash, and he got out. The door was open. He's not in there. Of course he's not. Back with May and Ben, they're able to get the chip out of Firecracker.
It's nice to be around an adult who loves dinosaurs as much as we do, even if you need science to prove it.
And I like May's response because she's like, that's how you prove things, Ben, with science. And I like how he's cheating on Bumpy. Like, imagine Bumpy finding her way to this island from Isla Nublar and then catching Ben with this baby dinosaur while all that time she'd been waiting for him to come back. That would be so sad, but yet hilarious at the same time.
Do you love me, my nigga?
I love you!
In the facility, Darius and Kenji hide, but Darius is forced to lay low in Cash's office as someone walks in, and the first thing I'm thinking is it's Dr. Wu, but he sounds a bit off.
Brads will take care of the Kentrosaurus while we prep the forest biome for the presentation.
You got it, Danny boy.
And his name is Daniel. And I'm thinking, wait, was it Daniel Wu? I thought it was Henry Wu. But I just rolled with it, whatever. Maybe he's keeping his name different for certain reasons. Maybe his voice sounds different for whatever reason. Maybe he's pretending to be someone he's not, for anonymity and all that stuff. Kenji finds Darius and is like, what are you doing, dude? Now this next part is a part that really pissed me off because they put the baby dinosaurs out in the winter area, and they know that, hey, we noticed that the baby was very energetic when we took him into the winter biome. So they're having a hard time saying goodbye. But Yaz is like, you know what? We gotta get going. She wants to just bite the bullet and do what's best for the dinosaurs and what's best for them. But Brooke and Sammy don't like the fact that Yaz is taking over so much.
Yaz, what are you doing?
Giving you the push you need. Again. You're welcome.
Brooke is telling her, look, girl, we don't need a push. We just need a minute to say goodbye to the babies. We're not going to see them all the time, and if we leave from the island, we're never going to see them again. And then Brooke does the stupidest thing that I don't get the logic of people doing this. I know they're not on an actual road, but what would possess you to do this? Like, are you that freaking fareenered that your brain just flies out of your nostrils, goes to space, splits into 4 pieces, and then comes back arranged the wrong way in your head? Like, what is wrong with you?
We're not ready to say goodbye. Turn us around.
Then they fly into the ice and they lose that vehicle. Like freaking idiots. And Yaz, why didn't you press the brakes? I mean, they're on ice, but Brooke is the one to blame here. I just don't even get that. I don't get the logic of grabbing the wheel from someone when you're on an icy terrain and you have no other vehicles or ways to get help if something happens to you. Stupid idiot. Darius regroups with May and Ben alongside Kenji and tells him that Cash's boss is here. May says it's the president of Manticore and she's never met him. He then tells him the conversation he overheard, which is they're gonna take Pierce, her Kentrosaurus, to the new biome with new assets there. That means a new biome with new dinosaurs. Apparently they're gonna feed Pierce to the new dinosaurs. You know what that means. We gotta drop everything and save the dinosaurs again. The group must get a plan together. And when Sammy and Brooke find another one of those snowmobile things.
Message delivery.
They look up and see a Brad X, which is actually really freaking creepy, but it's a message from the rest of the group. It says that the Kentrosaurus is in trouble and we need your help. This is clearly Darius and the others calling out for them to regroup, which is honestly an effective way to do things now, because now even though they don't have a phone, they can still reach each other through the robot. Ben fights off the robots, the old Brad models, as May tries to calm down Pierce, who is getting ready to be fed to the other creatures in the new biome. Kenji and Darius make their way there, and that's around the time when Kenji told Darius he was in a relationship with Brooke. They have make-like shields and those little electric balls that the robots spit out to kill things. This is a very wonderful sight because we see the Dilophosaurus, a few of them, juveniles roaming around in packs and spitting their venom. Such a wonderful sight to see. This new biome that they're in is the swamp biome. Right around that time, they go to the feeding area where Pierce, May, and Ben ascend on the platform. Kenji hits one of the Dilophosaurus square in their head with one of those balls, thinking it's just gonna electrocute. Doesn't work. It needs the robots. Didn't even know the robots had balls that they came out of their mouth, you know? It was just thought they were balls of electricity, rather. And look how beautiful this thing is. Very beautiful. It's like an explosion around its head. But I like how it just inches in on them, like all this pack just inches closer and closer, but nobody does anything. Like, dinosaurs are just like, we're gonna get you any time now. Or are you guys gonna run away? Brooke, Sam, and Yazzie saved the day by coming through with a snowmobile. How did they get it through the freaking door? I don't know.
Wait, are you guys, like, together?
Ben the Clueless. This is wonderful news, and the group is happy, but then they're like, wait a second, how did you know where to find us, though? Brooke and the others say, you told us on the Brad X. We got the message. And then they say, we didn't call you on the Brad X. What are you talking about? Which I can't help but remembering the Jurassic Park situation, Jurassic Park 3, with the satellite phone.
How did you know we were here?
The phone, that stupid jingle from the store, I heard it.
My phone?
Yeah, your satellite phone. Where is it?
I don't have it.
Well, they tend to use a lot of inspiration from the movies. Next thing the group knows, they're surrounded.
You were right, boss. Dumb kid did have help.
You shouldn't leave important devices like these lying around.
I knew it was the device. What did I tell you? You don't leave a device in a room with a programmer or somebody who can engineer freaking robots that can speak to you and do things and freaking put you to sleep and dinosaurs to sleep and are indestructible. It makes no freaking sense. But I guess they weren't thinking about that, which is something they should have thought about. And then this part totally floored me because I did not see this coming. The Dr. Wu character comes out because I'm thinking it has to be him, right? He left InGen. So since he is the bioengineer and the chief person who's responsible for creating these dinosaurs, and a lot of people are trying to work with him, it would make sense they would make him the president of the company.
They could fall into the wrong.
Dad?
Sugar honey iced tea. Did not see that coming. Did not even think in the realm of, wow, some of you all caught it before I did. I was actually beating up myself that I did not catch that. That was one hell of an ending and a cliffhanger because like Kenji's been talking about his dad, but never once I think his dad would ever enter the equation. That was good. I obviously was enjoying myself a lot because my eyes were so wide with glory and wonder that they were blurry and did not see the signs. I like being surprised, and I like things that are unpredictable. And that wasn't the most predictable thing. Maybe if I was really looking for it. So what I think about this episode, I think it was cute, felt kind of Scooby-Doo-ish near the middle, but at least they were realistic and let that Brooke Kenji thing come to a close. Well, not a close, but like the next step, because ideally if they kept it going for like 2 or 3 seasons, it would have gotten a bit old. Also, I'm glad that we got to see baby dinosaurs and the hybrids. I mean, that's a weird hybrid. A lot of people are into the whole hybrid thing, but they try to play it off by having Kenji say, why do people like hybrids so much? It is what it is. And that was kind of like a fan service thing as well, but it kind of fit with what was going on in the show. There are things that didn't make sense in the season, but a lot of things that did make sense. And I think the good surely outweighs the bad, which is what makes this show so leveled. Now we can take a break. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.